Hi guys, I'm Angie. I'm going to tell you a little bit about me. So I am a little bit famous. You guys might recognize me from the Netflix baking competition Nailed It Holiday. Cosmopolitan magazine named my cake one of the top 6 worst cakes ever made on this show. I have fans. They're mostly 9-year-old girls. And a couple creepy guys on Twitter that are into cake stuff or whatever. One of these girls came up to me in the playground and she said, "Do you like baking?" And I said, "Mm-hmm." "Did you see Nailed It?" And she said, "Mm-hmm." And I said, "How did I do?" And she went. I said, "Would you like a picture?" And she goes, "You didn't win." I said, "You came up to me, little girl. Where's your mother?" Then I tattled on that bitch. No, I'm not actually a very confrontational person. I'm not much of a fighter. I mean, look at me. I'm Midwest hot, Wisconsin 10. I know my place in the world. But I'm not even strong enough to push my thumb through the aluminum foil on the NyQuil. So I gotta be a tough talker. I gotta talk tough, and it helps that I'm Italian. Any other paisans here? We don't normally like to identify ourselves in crowds. Just ask JFK. Oh, my people killed Jesus too. See, a lot of people think the Jews killed Jesus, but that's not true. The Romans killed Jesus, and I want credit. Like I said, I'm Italian. My baby sister Tony and I are very light hair, light skin like my mother. And my sister Nikki is very jet black hair, very caramel skin like my father. So we were in the Kmart and I was like chonking down on a huge dill pickle because it was the 80s and that's what you did in Kmart. And this woman came over to my sister and she kneeled down and she said, "Is this your mother?" And my mother said, "Excuse me?" And the woman said, "I'm sorry, ma'am, you don't look Mexican." This is the moment the light bulb goes off. I'm gonna convince my sister that she was adopted. Now we have this like display birth certificate that you get like at the grocery store, has little baby ink feet on it and a picture. You write down how long it is, how much it weighs, you put it in a frame, you throw it on the wall. So I said, "Nikki, I can prove that you're not Mexican." And I brought her over to the picture and I ran my finger across a tiny sentence at the bottom of the frame. And it said, "Made in Taiwan." I said, "You were made in Taiwan. That's a legal document." She started freaking out. She goes, "My real family's gonna come for me. My real family's gonna come for me." My mother was so shaking mad with me. She said, "Your father's gonna deal with you." So behind that closed door, my dad said, "Don't tell your mother that I didn't hit you. And don't tell your mother that I'm drunk." I'm kidding, you guys. He hit me. He was drunk. It was the 80s. I'm happy to report after 25 years of smoking cigarettes, I quit. Thank you. I vape now. That's the same reaction my family had. I was being cool auntie. I was at my niece's birthday party and I was like jumping in the bounce house. I was in the ball pit and I dropped my vape. So I gathered the kids around. I said, "Auntie dropped her vape." And my nephew goes, "Well, we really don't know the long-term outcome." And I said, "Not now, Miles." "Anyone who finds it will get $20. And Miles goes, "I'll do it for 50. I said, "I could buy a new one for 50. And he goes, "Well, how bad do you want it right now?" And then my niece goes, "Equal work for equal pay." And I said, "Not for girls." Where's my Gen Z? Show of hands. Where's the Gen Z? Like right here. Okay, so let me just ask you a question. Do you know what the DARE program is? No? Let me tell you about the DARE program. So they would give you a t-shirt that said DARE, and it stood for drugs are racist and evil. And then they would take you to an assembly where you'd wear the t-shirt. And there was like a goofy improv troupe doing rap about how drugs are bad. They'd be like, don't do drugs. Boo. And then, Gen X, verify with me, they would take you outside to a very realistic car accident where your friends were thrown through the windows and bloody and dead. And they'd go, they were drinking on the way to school. And my first teenage thought was like, good, I hated that bitch. And my second theater kid thought was, why did I not get cast in this? I'm married. I've been married for 21 years now. Thank you. Fun fact, I'm extremely anemic. That means I bruise really easily. That's what my husband wants me to say. My husband hates that joke. He's like, people are gonna think I beat you. I said, no, they're not. Look at you, come on. He has a grown-up job. So he took me to a colleague's dinner party, and it always makes me very anxious, and I get nervous, and I make jokes, and he doesn't like that. So here comes Janice, and Janice wants to do icebreakers. And she goes, what's the weirdest thing you've ever eaten? And I went, this guy. He didn't like that. Janice said, what celebrity crush would you ask for a hall pass with? And I went, Bill Cosby. My husband kind of poked at me and I went, 80s Bill Cosby, not today. She goes, agree or disagree? Taking a good shit is better than sex. And I said, what are you eating? And Janice goes, not this guy. So that was an awkward ride home. You know how some men say like, oh, we've been together so long, we should spice it up. We should have a threesome. My husband said this, let's have a threesome. So I was like, okay, I'm gonna flip the switch on him, right? I was like, oh, okay, what if we have a threesome with me and two guys? And he goes, would you want that? I said, is that an option? He goes, what are you talking about? I said, we've never talked about this. He said, I didn't know you'd want that. I said, I didn't know that was an option. Here's the thing, I don't watch porn. I find it very annoying. None of the characters have names. And my husband doesn't want to watch porn with a plot, but I want to know what her dad did to her uncle, to bring her here. Did you ever have a fleeting thought that you immediately judge yourself for? Like I was at the hair salon, and there was this gorgeous gay man just washing my hair and rubbing my head, and I just thought, I could turn him. No, I'm kidding. I respect the gay community. I have a gay daughter. She's poly, bi, gender fluid. Her pronouns are she, they. And I was like, can mommy just call you gay? Is that okay? I'm trying to be more progressive. I'm trying to learn from my gay daughter. She said, Mom, sometimes I like girls, and sometimes I like boys, and sometimes I like girls that are boys, and sometimes I like boys that are girls, and sometimes I like people that aren't boys or girls. And I said, stop. I am trying to be supportive, but you sound like a whore. Now explain it to mommy again slowly. And at each point, tell me how many people are involved. She also has high-functioning autism. And for folks that don't know, what this really means is she just sees the world a click different than everyone else. For example, when she was 5, she decided to call her vagina her front butt. And her pediatrician was incensed with me. How can you not teach her the proper names of her body parts? I said, look, lady, she's got her whole life to find out it's called a vagina. She's not gonna be 27 like fuck me in the front butt. Number 2, we were out shopping And she took a picture of a closed down bye-bye baby. And she went, Roe v. Wade. I said, what are you talking about? She said, isn't that an abortion clinic? I said, the bye-bye baby? The bye-bye baby is not a place where you can buy a baby, nor is it a place where you say bye-bye to a baby. It's a place where you buy things for a baby. And she goes, well, that's a confusing name. And I said, is it? That means you buy to the idea that there is a warehouse-sized abortion clinic next to the Bed Bath & Beyond. Number 3, she called me up. She said, you want a hot mom contest? I said, what? She said, yeah, I'm at a party. We decided to have a hot mom contest. Everyone pulled out pictures of their mom, and you won. I was like, oh. She goes, well, it was just you and one other mom, but you beat Anthony's mom. You were the hottest mom at the Dungeons & Dragons party. And I was like, fuck you, Anthony's mom. I'm like a 20-sided dice. I'm always a critical hit. Oh, I see the Dungeons & Dragons fans over here. We didn't find out she had autism until she was about 17. And when she got her diagnosis, it just hit me right in the chest. I just thought, well, that makes so much sense. I just thought she was an asshole. And it does make so much sense, and we do communicate so much better now, but here's what came out of it. Now, every time I meet an asshole, I'm like, oh, he's autistic. And it makes it so much easier to deal with him. I'm telling you right now, the next time you meet an asshole, if you just say to yourself, like, oh, I just need to be patient with him, it's gonna save your whole day. My daughter said, Mom, why did I get autism? I said, because I got you vaccinated for chickenpox. No, I'm kidding. I told her the truth. I said, you got that shit from your dad's side of the family. You got your mental health problems from mommy. I have a 14-year-old as well. When she was 12, she took out a Tinder account on her friend's phone because they thought it was funny. I said, let me see the profile. First of all, the profile picture was lesser-known actress Keira Knightley. I said, do you know who this is? She said, she's pretty. So my 12-year-old was catfishing people on Tinder as Keira Knightley under the alias Sheila. I said, why Sheila? She said it sounded more adult. This is what the profile said. This girly pop slay. No simps, no sad boys, bitch. I said, I don't think that's how adults talk. I don't know. I've never been on a dating app. When my husband and I started dating, he left me messages on my answering machine. You know how hard it is to get a dick pic off an answering machine? I did have this one idea the other day, like, what would be a 90s equivalent of an unsolicited dick pic? Just be a guy with a bunch of Polaroids of his dick, and he's like, look at this! Does anyone here make a little bit of noise, consider themselves like an aggressive driver, like someone who kind of weaves in and out of traffic? Yeah, yeah? Who are you pointing at? What's your name? What's your name? Joseph? Joseph, we all fucking hate you, Joseph. Everyone who just laughs fucking hates you. You guys drive with Joseph. How do you feel about his aggressive driving? No, it doesn't sound like a 5-star review to me, Joseph. Here's the thing, Joseph, you're a very confident driver. I'm a very nervous driver. Do you know how many people I'm gonna kill because of you, Joseph? I just want to know, Joseph, why do you do it? Why? Okay, I'll just be patient with you. You guys ever take a shit so big your next thought is, I should weigh myself? All right, if you guys enjoyed me, I'm gonna be selling stickers after the show for $1 or whatever you'd like to tip me. They say, Midwest hot, you sound like a whore, and big clit energy. One more, I'll do one more. My baby sister Tony was born 4 months premature, and she was born with half a heart and 1 lung, and she had to live in an incubator for the first year of her life, and they said she wouldn't live past the age of 5. But she's 37 now, and she's a mom and a lawyer. Yeah. So every year on her birthday, I call her up and I say, "You're supposed to be dead." You guys, I'm Angie McMahon. Give it up for your host, Hot Glover.